Hello, everybody. A message here today. I decided to start, maybe I was guided to start, I don't know, to read from the beginning of my messages. I'm not going to read all of them, but some of them I could share, maybe get some exclamation of clarity on. And I know some of the newer people, probably most of the people reading the blog now, haven't even read these, if you didn't go back to the beginning. They were more rudimentary, simplistic, not as complex or deep as the present ones, because it was a new gift to me that was awoken, at least in this life. Done it in every life. So, but still, it's a relearning process, a reawakening process that takes a period of time. So you will notice the difference in the level of writing, for lack of a better description, between these and the recent ones. These early ones are a lot shorter as well. I'll read the first one, and then the 8th one, and then the 10th one. And as time goes by, I'll just continue to work through all my journals. How many I got now? 13, 14, 15 of them. Till we bring up to date. Of course, the later ones will take longer to review, because they have much deeper meaning. And you may hear some things in here that have a specific meaning to you as well, anybody who's listening. And if you don't, that's okay. Be aware that everybody who hears any of these messages or reads them, the blog, you're being planted. You're being seeds sown upon or within your heart. There's angels coming behind that cultivate these seeds within you. And you need to do is just be open your heart and your mind to all possibilities, to Him, so that they can more fully work within you, and you can bear more and greater fruit of your own. But the choice is yours. Okay, this first one, and this is before I dated. Again, I was writing all these down and just flipping them over on any kind of paper I could find for over a year before I realized, like, why don't I get some notebooks, and why don't I start numbering these and dating them? But at the beginning I had no idea exactly what it was all about and how long it was going to last. So I was a little slow on the uptake there when I started doing that. So actually, this first so many, before I started dating them, numbering them, aren't necessarily in the perfect order. They're close, but might be off here and there. Okay, what I have is the first one, interestingly enough, begins with the word seek. Seek the Lord, and you will find a love beyond that's so unblind. It's unconditional. It doesn't see any faults, anything wrong with us. It's unconditional. But let me read through this without interruption first. I'm sorry. Seek the Lord, and you will find a love beyond that's so unblind, beyond compared to all you've known, undescribed but only shown. If you could fathom the depth of He who gives His love and light to thee, unimagined joy envelops all, quiets the sound of death's call. Countless mansions of ever pure, celestial visions for all be sure. You and I free to enjoy endless days with no employ. Floating, sailing so many shores, healing, helping, mending cores of hearts and minds torn asunder, full of pain, raucous thunder. Freeing all to the joy of love, blessed upon all from above. Very short, very simple, not complex. Seek the Lord and you will find. He tells us, He invites us to seek and you shall find. Seek the Lord, not seek things of this world. Seek the Lord and you will find a love beyond that's so unblind, unconditional, blind, that's doesn't see the faults and sees within each of us. Beyond compare to all you've known, undescribed but only shown. So nothing in this world can compare to what His love is like. Nothing. It's indescribable. If you could fathom the depth of He, how deep and how massive, immense and infinite He is, who gives His love and light to thee, to us, Unimagined joy envelops all. Again, we can't imagine the joy. I mean, if you think of your most joyful moment in life, if you can think of that, multiply that times infinity and beyond, Buzz Lightyear, that's what it's going to feel like. There's no human words to describe it. Unimagined joy envelops all, quiets the sound of death's call. So when you believe all that, believe in Him and seek Him, it's quiet. You will not suffer the pains of death. It quiets death's call, the darkness. You won't even hear it. When you leave this world, you won't hear it because you're so focused on Him and His love and belief in Him that you won't even hear the darkness trying to entice you away. Countless mansions of ever pure. And again, as He said, my Father's kingdom has many mansions. I go there to prepare the way for you, to prepare yours. Let's not talk mansions of this world, Beverly Hills mansions, Monte Carlo mansions. No, nothing in this physical world is what heaven is about, what heaven is. I mean, the things that exist in His creation, the trees, the mountains, all that sort of thing, it's just a pale comparison, pale reflection, as if in a mirror. He said, as if in a mirror, then I will see more clearly how much greater and pure and true it is. And colors will seem even more. My God, it's just amazing. Celestial visions for all, be sure. You and I, free to enjoy endless days with no employ. I mean, it's just to exist, be in His joy and His peace and His immensity, His glory. I mean, we'll still be learning things because you still learn. Because unless you're God, there's always something to learn about God. So you'll be able to learn all there is. Floating, sailing so many shores, healing, helping, mending cores of hearts and minds torn asunder, full of pain and raucous thunder. So if you give yourself completely to Him, when you leave this world, you can help others to make it, help others to heal so they can get into the light as well. Freeing all to the joy of love, blessed upon all from above. So you can help free these people, free these other souls that didn't go directly there or having trouble getting there. You can help them to get there. Number 8. Again, I don't know the exact date of this. This probably would have been, said they started in early November of 2008, 9, 8, or 9, 2009, I think. So this would have been like near the end of 2000, of that year. Selfless glory, does it exist? Not in this world. Does the greed seek to persist? Irreprehensible beings abide, false truths cannot hide. Foolish souls cannot they see what is needed for one to be free? Light among us blinds all lost, filtering much at so high a cost. Answers all lie deep within, where to go and where have been. Omnipotence, which is God, dwells inside us all, where He dwells, waiting to hear our heartfelt call. Just call out to Him. Just waiting to be activated, waiting to be woken in all its glory. Do not fear, no answer too quick. Must be sure, no mortal trick. So He wants to be sure you're serious. And you want to be sure it's not darkness trying to trick you. That's why you ask for discernment of darkness and their lies and tricks and snares. You ask for discernment of His wisdom and knowledge. You ask for discernment of His will. His word is truth. So you know what the devil's trying to pull and what is really God. Wouldst thou know heaven's true if it came calling on you? Very few will. Very few did last time Jesus was here. Very few believed it because they were looking for a specific rendition or what they were brainwashed or taught about what Jesus would be. So when He showed up, He wasn't like that. They didn't believe Him. And the same thing's going to happen. It's continuing to happen now. You know, it's going to happen again when he reveals himself. He's already here, but he's going to reveal himself. They won't believe it because they're looking for a specific thing. It's like with the Pope. Like, oh, Pope, God representative on earth. Really? Now think how the Pope lives and how the Pope's dressed and how the Pope is versus how Jesus was and is, was and lived and acted. Jesus was homeless. One set of clothing, a pair of sandals. He's basically homeless, wandering around, eating off the land, whatever people gave him. Does the Pope do that? He lives in a palace, finely adorned, richly adorned, big fancy jewelry. No. Humble thyself. Jesus was humble in every aspect of his life, every phase of his life, before and after, and still is. So be careful who you follow. Be careful who you follow. Rome is going to crumble to dust. It's going to crumble to dust. That was recently told in the message. If you're reading the messages, pay attention. Go through, read them again. It's going to crumble to dust. Wouldst thou know heaven's true if it came calling on you? Eyes wide open, vision shut. Ears so clear, can't hear what is spoken from the other side. So Jesus said, they have eyes but they do not see, ears but they do not hear. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Just like they were last time, mankind still is today. So you have to ask for that discernment. Open up your heart and your mind and believe. Let your faith grow. Then your spiritual sight, your spiritual hearing, spiritual senses will awaken and be unclogged, unobstructed. And you'll start to grow in his light. As he told me early on, you must unlearn all that you've learned thus far. Forget it. So that you can learn what you need to learn. So that you can continue forth on your true journey. Beauty so precious cannot hide. Can't you feel the glory of you? Can't you sense the peace so true? I have seen it since the start, where mankind was not so far apart from he who made all that is, and laid claim to what was his. Choice was given to test your love. Path of truth leads one above. I am but the messenger. Hear his call, spreading his message meant for all, whoever this messenger is. You have the ability to hear as I do, which is spiritual, communicate with God as he does. Gift lies hidden deep inside you. And here he's speaking directly to me, but this is for everybody too. We all have that ability to communicate, because we have that umbilical cord of light, that connection to God, which is never severed unless he severs it. And you don't want to do that. So we all have that ability to communicate back and forth, the flow of information back and forth. But we just got to get rid of all this, refocus on inside and on him, and get rid of all the other crap that clogs up the communication channel, internal and external. Gift lies hidden deep inside you. When and where, why and how much, neither him nor I can never touch. This power awaits the simple key, unlocks the door, waits to be free. You have the key to unlock that door to the walls and those castles and those prisons you've built around, inside yourself, and around yourself. And if you can't do it yourself, you ask Jesus for help, and he will help you, because he's like the landlord. He's got the master key. He's the master. He will unlock it for you, but you still have to. He's not going to drag you out. You have to still step outside. Then, messenger, you will be as well, like the speaker is, hearing all there is to tell. From those who know what all we seek, happy to give us just a peek. They're happy to share. They're dying to share all this information about Jesus. And he's dying to teach us about him and God. Of all the love and joy that is ours to have when we became his, upon that day when all began, and life spread forth from holy hand. So it's just there. It's just there for the taking. That's a message from my daughter, first one. And this one, number 10 too. I think this is from Alothio. Didn't know it at the time, but having read it again, I think it's from Alothio, my spirit twin, soul twin. believe, don't believe, it's your choice. Doesn't matter, just it's the words that matter. Irrepressible conflagrations of fire, leading us down a path so dire. So it's like evil leading us down dark paths. Muted in the mists of lore, unable to see what came before. So the darkness is hidden past, it's been taken, it's hidden from us. We can't see the truth of everything that was. History and all the things we discover, it's an inexact science. Inexact science. Keep in mind that things that are discovered, whether they're text or not, whatever, word of mouth, however they're communicated down. How do we know the person's mindset? How do we know what they were sharing or writing down was the truth? Whenever anybody writes something, it's unavoidable to not be influenced by their values, their cultural upbringing, their experiences, their opinions, whatnot. Some degree of it's going to insinuate itself into whatever's being written. So that way it's been muted in the midst of lore. Incompetent prophets of doom have spoken, selling their prophecies for the slightest token, blinded by their lack of comprehension, keeping them in spiritual suspension. I alone can guide you through the many trials of a path so true. Pains and sorrows soon will pass, loss of feeling, endless morass. Preparations by him who was sent, all you do soon to repent. Much to do soon shall see, Christ will come to set you free. Then you will soar down roads of glory, just the start of your untold story. Again, this is speaking to me. Ancient spirit. It was confirming, first time to tell me that I'm an ancient spirit. And it took years for it to actually set in. See, even with me, with all these things were being sown within me, they were being cultivated by angels within me. Where later messages would click into place. It's just like learning in school. You get the groundwork, the base work, the foundation of a particular subject, math, for example, so you can build upon it to the next levels. And you don't realize that that's happening as you go through various stages of education. Same thing with spirit. Ancient spirit, I will guide you. Need not fear, no need to call to. Those you love and leave behind, paths for them they will find, which is what I've done in my life. Yours began so long ago, been before this present glow. Yours, be sure, is as old as mine. This confirms who is speaking, because his soul is as old as mine. Journey, friend, not just thine. We have come down many roads, carrying many different loads, all for a reason you will know, but for now, I must go. Peace. So, that's 3 of the early ones, and I'll try to do that more often. I need to do that more often. And as we go along, we'll see how they grow in complexity and deepness of meaning, and we'll get to some references where words that I didn't know what they were. I had to look them up, see the meaning, and do some research, see what the word was, what that word actually was or meant. So it was a journey. So I don't know if this will hopefully help you some, hearing them read and get my take on them. Never wanted to do it before because I didn't want to influence a person's perspective, or perception of what they were reading. I felt I didn't want to contaminate it. So time's gone by on these old ones that everybody's had plenty of time to try to read them or go back and read them. So hopefully it should be okay. So with that, I end this video. I hope everybody has a blessed evening, and until next time, God bless. Peace of Christ.